Sir, can you keep it down? Thank you. You're listening to Baby Steps Baby Girl. This podcast is for the beautiful, brave humans who are only interested in living a life that feels deeply personal and intentional. I'm your host, Kitty Noor, and I'm here to help you unravel the societal programming that keeps us self-conscious, anxious, and distracted from feeling fulfilled. Together, we are taking baby steps towards unconditional self-acceptance. Today, we are going to have a brief but thorough conversation about self-doubt and impatience. I spent the majority of February, it's still February, but I spent the majority of Aquarius season on cloud 9. Oh my god, I was feeling super duper clear about who I am and what I'm doing and where I'm going and all-time high confidence. And then this past weekend, we took a nosedive. And Pisces season has put me back in a place where I'm more in touch with my emotions, and I'm not a fan. No, that's a joke. But I was really in a a little sad, down mood for no reason over the weekend, to the point where I canceled plans with a friend that I haven't seen in a year, and then the next day we called each other and just talked, and they were in a similar headspace, and in the sense that they also were on cloud 9 throughout Aquarius season, and then these past couple days have been a little funky. So today I want to talk about how it's okay to be in a funk. It's not the end of the world to have funks. Funks are inevitable, but to get yourself out of a funk and to get yourself back in the state of mind where you are grateful for everything that's around you and you are in touch again with why you do the things you do, it's gonna require a little reconnecting with a sense of purpose. Typically when we feel unmotivated to work on things that we know are going to make us feel good, or creative projects that we have the control over. You know what I mean? When it comes to this podcast, when it comes to creative endeavors where you're the one giving yourself the deadline, it's very easy to feel unmotivated sometimes and to procrastinate on things that things that at one point you were very clear and very motivated to work on. I would argue that an easy way to tap back into a sense of motivation is reconnecting with your purpose. Why did you start this thing in the first place? Fall back in love with it. And forgive yourself for not always being on your A game, but know that you create your own momentum and you have the power to get yourself back on your A game. And some days are easier than others, and you are allowed to have bad days. But ultimately, how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your future contributes largely to where you're going and how you operate and how you take action. In terms of procrastination, procrastinating is usually intertwined with perfectionism. And perfectionism doesn't exist. It's just self-sabotage, because perfection doesn't exist, right? We all carry around these idealized versions of who we are and what we want to do, and because of that, if you get stuck in the overthinking of specifically a creative project, right? if you spend too much time working out the perfect case scenario, it quickly becomes scary to start that creative project, because the odds are good that whatever you make is not going to align perfectly with what you have mapped out in your head, and that can be extremely disheartening. But conversations like this, I hope, normalize the fact that, like, what's more important than anything else is that you just start. You just take action, you make things, you make mistakes, and actually, if you make enough things and you make enough mistakes, eventually you will get to a more perfect place. You will get to the version of yourself that you want to be. But there's a lot of pressure to be good at something right away. And so because of that pressure, we procrastinate and we self-sabotage and we talk ourselves out of things. You can't wait to take action. You can't wait until everything makes sense, because that day's never gonna come. It's never gonna come. So check in with yourself and take an inventory over the things in life that you've been putting off because it's not the right time yet. It's not the right time yet. And start to, like, see how it feels to change the narrative around the fact that maybe it'll never be the right time. So I'm just gonna pick a random time and I'm gonna do this thing. Take this with a grain of salt, because I saw a TikTok and I haven't fact checked it. So maybe you can, if I'm wrong, I really apologize. And it would probably take 2 seconds to fact check, but I saw a TikTok and this chick said, the body can't handle the cortisol produced by overthinking. When we live too much in our heads, when we overthink things too much, it produces the stress hormone cortisol. Our body can only take so much of that before there's negative repercussions. However, the body can handle being thrown into a situation in which it's uncomfortable. So we produce a different, I don't know if adrenaline's a hormone. I don't know what adrenaline is, but we produce adrenaline. Our body is capable of being thrown into an uncomfortable situation and just dealing with it. But it cannot handle overthinking and living in our head. And that makes sense, because we have a mind and a body for 2 different reasons. If we were only supposed to be hyper intellectual analytical things, then we would only have a mind, but we don't. We have both. And unfortunately, somewhere along the lines, we were made to believe that logic is more of a masculine energy and emotion is more of a feminine energy. And because we live in more of a masculine world, the logic is what is taken more seriously. But that is a conversation for a different day. So going back to the idea that our body can handle being thrown into a new uncomfortable situation, and actually it's built to handle that, that reminds me of an interview that I watched a couple days ago between Sahara Rose and Gala Darling. Both are 2 wonderful ladies, very smart ladies. I love Gala. Her work has really influenced and impacted me largely over these past couple years. And I found Sahara through the Higher Self podcast, which is 10 out of 10 would recommend. And Sahara just released a new book about Dharma. And she argues that there are 9 or 10 archetypes that as humans we have access to, that we, like roles that we play throughout our lifetime. And one of them was like the nurturer, the artist, the entertainer, the visionary, and she said that we are born into a certain role, or we are born having access and an easier time with one or two roles, but actually we always have the ability to step into whatever is needed at that moment in time, if that makes sense. So even though you were born into a situation that required you to be a certain kind of person, if you were to step outside of your comfort zone and do something new, the energy that you would need to embody to handle that situation would come to you. Okay? And I know that's a little woo-woo, it's a little out there, but it's not terribly crazy to think that there's some truth in that. And we tend to put the people that are out there living their dreams, or that are out there doing the things that we want to do, we tend to put those kinds of people on a pedestal. What happens when we put people on pedestals is that we automatically make ourselves less than, and it is then extremely easy to be jealous of that person. And jealousy is just like a total buzzkill, momentum killer. There's no real positive side effects that come out of jealousy, besides maybe like a competitive nature, which if it's like a healthy, motivational, competitive energy, then maybe. But I highly doubt that a healthy competitive nature is sustainable over a large period of time. So I want to offer the perspective shift of when you catch yourself feeling jealous over somebody, over what they have or what they're doing, maybe think about them as social proof that you can do it too. You can have it too. If somebody out there is living the life you want to live, instead of hating on them for that, whether you do it consciously or subconsciously, like, feel excited for them and feel more excited for the fact that, like, if one other person in this world can do it, it's proof that you can do it too. I want to end this episode by talking about a conversation that I had with my boss, that, like, it blew my mind and has actually helped provide a whole lot of peace in regards to staying patient and trusting the timing of things, because she reached out to the group chat between my coworkers and myself, and she said, if anybody's interested in a promotion, let me know. And so I messaged her and I was like, hey, like, I'm interested, but I'm also like new to the store, new to the situation. So I said, hey, I'm interested, but if you were planning on promoting someone who had been there longer, like, I would completely understand. And she said, it's not a matter of who gets promoted, it's just a matter of when. That she's interested in, like, promoting all of us, but it's just a matter of timing. That blew my mind, because I think that kind of perspective would be life-changing if we all carried a little bit of that. Like, if we were raised in the deep-seated belief that everyone can get theirs, it's just a matter of time. And by get theirs, I mean your idea of success, your version of success. Yeah. So I'm here to tell you that you can get yours. It's just a matter of time. So to wrap this up, stay patient. Stay patient and stay naively optimistic about things, okay? And remember that reconnecting with your purpose, reconnecting with why you do the things you do, can be a great tool to have in your toolbox when dealing with procrastination and self-doubt and lack of motivation. You are extremely intelligent. Your perspective on things is extremely valuable.
And you are 100% capable of doing whatever you want to do.
It's just a matter of convincing yourself that you can do it and reconvincing yourself on the days when you don't feel like you can do it. Okay? I love you. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.